Welcome to the Microsoft Internet Explorer 10 versus Google Chrome 31 video. So the first test is the SunSpider test, which shows you how quickly a browser renders JavaScript, which is on a lot of modern websites. So pretty much how quickly a browser renders websites. In this test, Internet Explorer 10 scored 102.5 milliseconds. It's about 10 seconds, which is very good, while Google Chrome 31 scored almost cut the time in half and scored a whopping 41.9 milliseconds, which is actually way faster and way better. But then again, both these scores are very, very good, and finding a difference between these scores is going to be quite hard. The last benchmark test I did was the HTML5 test, and HTML5 is pretty important. A lot of websites use it, and if a browser can't handle HTML5 properly, it won't render the website properly, and it won't look right. So on here, Internet Explorer 10 scored a 335, while Google Chrome 31 scored a 501. So once again here, Internet Explorer actually did not score so good, and Google Chrome did pretty well. So Google Chrome is going to render web pages a little more reliably, but older web pages still, as we may know already, do render better on Internet Explorer just because of the compatibility. But as we know, benchmarks are not everything, and you'll see that in my next few tests. The next test I conducted between these browsers was the Peacekeeper test by FutureMark, I believe. And what this test is, it pretty much judges and grades the browser overall. So taking into consideration how well it does HTML5, Flash, how much memory or RAM it takes, how fast it can load a web page, pretty much the overall score of how good the browser is. And a higher score is better. Internet Explorer 10 scored 2,702, which is still very impressive, but Google Chrome 31 scored way higher and got a 4,570. Now, both these scores are very impressive and very good. However, as you can see, Chrome scored significantly better on this test, since it does support better HTML5, better Flash, and probably overall better hardware acceleration as well. So the next test, or not really a test anymore, but what I conducted was I loaded up 4 websites on both these browsers separately once everything else was closed, and recorded the times they took to load the websites. And they were pretty graphically intensive websites, and this was on a pretty good computer, so that's why you are seeing the quick times. So, Internet Explorer 10, on my first website, Google Chrome 31 and Microsoft's Internet Explorer 10 both got a 4 seconds. They loaded the website in 4 seconds. Both were very quick. On the second website I loaded, Google Chrome 31 loaded it in 5.3 seconds, while Internet Explorer 10 for some reason took 7.1 seconds, so almost 2 extra seconds. The next website, Google Chrome took 5 seconds, and Internet Explorer 10 took 4. So 1 second difference, and Internet Explorer was faster. In the last website I did, Google Chrome loaded it in 4.2 seconds, and Microsoft's Internet Explorer 10 loaded it in 3.7. So based on these, there is some fluctuation. Both these browsers load websites quickly, and the averages come out where Chrome gets a 4.63 seconds, while Internet Explorer 10 made by Microsoft is 4.6875 seconds. So clearly, this isn't representing what the benchmark showed. The benchmark showed pretty huge differences. While Chrome was 40% major improvement over Internet Explorer 10. But in these actual real-life scenarios with, website loading like a normal person would do, they're both very quick browsers that are really not... Anyway, they're both very quick, and they're not going to give you any trouble. So, which one is faster, per se? It's kind of hard to say. While Chrome scored higher in benchmarks, both these were very, very identical almost in real-world web page loading. However, because of the extra HTML5 compatibility and faster JavaScript engine in Google Chrome, the speed section of this test goes to Google Chrome 31. So the next section of this test to determine the best browser on your PC is aesthetics. So pretty much which browser looks better to you. And I'm going to be saying the advantages or just some notable points that I got down from both these browsers. Internet Explorer 10 is definitely more optimized for Windows 8. It's obvious as soon as you open it. It's just more optimized for Metro UI. It just looks better on it than Chrome does. It's also more stylistic, I think. But it is slightly more complicated to change settings if you're giving a PC to your parents or your grandparents and they don't really know much about computers. It is harder since there are more icons. There's just different. It's a different way, and I personally found it a little bit more confusing. Both these browsers are very minimalistic. Definitely, you're not going to be having 5 different toolbars anymore like you used to have in Internet Explorer. Google Chrome 31 has what I think is a better looking new tab page. It's more functional and it's also, as I said, better looking. And you have different themes you can put on Google Chrome 31, which completely change the appearance of it to however you want your browser to look, which definitely helps the aesthetics of it because there are some very pretty themes in the Chrome Web Store that you can download. The next section and the last section of this test is features. Which browser packs more features? Which provides a better experience when it comes to extra features? Microsoft Internet Explorer 10. I did note down that most features that Microsoft Internet Explorer 10 has already there in other browsers. They're not new, different. They weren't even the first to have those features. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. One of the features of Internet Explorer 10 is definitely extra security. You have different safe search features and safe filters that definitely make it a little bit more secure in my opinion. You do have some extensions that you can use and interact with on the website or any website for that matter by just clicking on it. For example, if you see an address on the website, you can just highlight it, right click it, and select the extension or the add-on that says Bing Maps, and it will map it for you right there. There is actually also spell check with Microsoft Internet Explorer 10. If you mistype a word anywhere in the browser, it will actually correct it for you automatically, like on a phone or other device. And the features of Microsoft Internet Explorer 10 aren't really promoted. They, first of all, aren't that useful. I mean, I get it, spell check it's kind of useful, but not as useful as some of the other features that are on Google Chrome that I'm about to get to. And the last feature of Microsoft Internet Explorer 10 that I thought was noteworthy is that it's a lot more touch optimized than Google Chrome is. Google Chrome is really lacking in that department. It's not touch optimized yet, and it's a pain to use, especially on mobile devices, but it also carries over to the desktop PCs that are touchscreen, like all-in-one computers and such. Google Chrome 31 has the ability to sync across multiple devices with your Google account. So if I'm using it on my tablet, then I can just open that same tab on my desktop. It has many extensions and apps and themes. And it also has native apps, which are new. So what this is pretty much extensions, kind of like Internet Explorer, let you do a lot more with your browser than you could. And they're very useful, handy extensions. There are a lot of them, over 100,000. There are also apps. Now, a lot of apps are just shortcuts to websites, but a growing amount are actual apps. And also, themes, like I mentioned earlier, lets you really customize it based on how you would like to have your browser look. And native apps, which are newly released, which are pretty much apps that are bought or downloaded from the Chrome Web Store, but run on your PC without Chrome running. So it's kind of like having your own application on your Windows PC, your Mac, except through Chrome, and a lot less storage is taken up. The other not really feature, but noteworthy point is that you can get Google Chrome on uh, Mountain Lion and Max. Well, Internet Explorer, you can't do that. I mean, you probably wouldn't, but you can't do that. Um, like I said earlier, Google Chrome 31 is definitely more customizable. You can really make it look however you want it to look, except for changing the buttons, which is in a different browser. Cough, 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 cough. Another feature I thought was noteworthy is the preloading feature, which, as you're typing the website into the Omnibox or search bar, it loads it in the background, so that as soon as you press enter, the website just appears immediately. This is definitely more prominent on a little bit faster computers. Not faster, I'd say not slower computers. It's very prominent, especially on wired, fast connections. I mean, I type up the website and I blink and it's already there. It's very useful on wired connections, but not so useful if you're a fast typer or if you have all your websites auto-completed in the address bar. So, who wins this last section, the features department? Personally, I feel that Google Chrome 31 takes this one. It's just there for macOS first of all. Its preloading feature is pretty handy actually, and you can sync it across multiple devices. There are extensions, apps, and themes. And I feel like the features on Google Chrome 31 are just better than the ones available on Microsoft's Internet Explorer 10. So, which is the better browser? So I'm going to give both these browsers ratings from 1 to 10 on the three departments that I tested them on: speed, aesthetics, and features. In the speed department, both these browsers are very, very fast in modern day usage. They were split by less than a tenth of a second, as you saw. However, I will give the nod to Google Chrome 31 for being more benchmark compatible and rendering things slightly faster. I'm going to give Google Chrome 31 a 9.5 and Internet Explorer a 9. The next section is aesthetics. This section is pretty much what you prefer. However, based on my what I think was the better looking browser, I gave Google Chrome 31 an 8.5, and Microsoft Internet Explorer 10 takes this one with a 9.5. And the last section is features. In this one, it was pretty hard to decide. However, I gave Google Chrome 31 a 9.5 for the features. So after averaging the totals, Google Chrome 31 gets a 9.17, while Internet Explorer 10 by Microsoft gets a 9. So these scores are both very close, but to objectively declare a winner here, it's Google Chrome 31 that takes the cake here. However, whichever browser you use, it may not even be worth the change to go through the pain of installing a new browser and doing it, because both these browsers are quick, they are very good, and both of them are very good looking and have pretty good features. However, at the end of the day, Google Chrome 31 will win this comparison by a very narrow margin. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and the links to download these browsers will be in the description, right below that like button and that dislike button. But don't press that one, it's not good for you. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and
thanks for watching this video.